Welcome to the United States Navy, where adventure and excitement are always just a wave away and where duty, honor, and adventure go hand in hand. They've got it all, from sleek destroyers that can outmaneuver any enemy, to aircraft carriers that can launch a bombardment of fighter jets in the blink of an eye. But don't be fooled, the U.S. Navy isn't just about brawn and firepower. The sailors are trained to think on their feet, outsmarting adversaries at every turn. Take, for example, the submarines quietly lurking beneath the waves, ready to strike at a moment's notice. Or our amphibious assault ships, able to transport troops and equipment to the most remote shores. And let's not forget the brave sailors who bravely defend people's freedom and way of life 24/7. Whether they're tackling pirates on the high seas or providing aid in times of natural disaster, our sailors are always ready to answer the call. The U.S. Navy is far ahead of adversaries prominently due to the fact that other nations in the world can rarely even afford to think about spending as much as the U.S. Navy on their defense forces. A major proportion of the Navy's spendings goes towards aircraft carriers, which it operates from the sea. The sheer number of aircraft carriers owned by the Navy is shocking for many. As of now, the U.S. Navy has 11 aircraft carriers in operation and 9 helicopter carriers. However, what is interesting is that the USA has 5 times as many air carriers as the country second to it, which is Japan with 4 air carriers under its belt. But like every other thing, it has also changed. Its fighting style has changed, and there are some things that no longer are what they used to be. So today we will walk you through the newly transformed U.S. Navy and how it has changed from what it was initially. However, before we do that, don't forget to like this video and acknowledge the struggles of the U.S. Navy. Battles in the United States Navy have varied throughout its history, but they have typically involved naval ships engaging in combat on the open seas. In the early days of the Navy, ships were often outfitted with guns and would engage in ship-to-ship combat. As technology advanced, ships became larger and better armed, and naval warfare became more complex. In order to get a fair idea of how things used to be back in the day, during World War II, for example, the Navy engaged in a variety of different types of combat, including carrier battles, submarine warfare, and amphibious assaults. However, in recent years, the Navy has focused on using aircraft, missiles, and advanced sensors and electronics to project power and protect American interests at sea. The United States Navy has undergone significant changes over the years. But as the world is changing, so is the U.S. Navy, and unsurprisingly, one of the biggest changes has been the incorporation of new technologies. In the past, naval warfare was primarily conducted through ship-to-ship combat using guns and other traditional weapons. However, as technology has advanced, the Navy has incorporated new weapon systems such as missiles, radar, and electronic warfare systems to increase its capabilities. I mean, it is fair only if the Navy does not keep up with the changing atmosphere. Some other country is going to one-up it. Currently, while the U.S. Navy is the strongest in the world, many other countries come close. Comment your answers and tell me which country do you think should be the strongest or will displace the U.S. Navy in the coming years. So, after new technology, another huge change that has been observed in the U.S. Navy is the increasing use of aircrafts. In the past, aircraft were primarily used for reconnaissance and spotting, but today they play a much more significant role in naval warfare. The Navy now operates a wide range of aircraft, including fighters, bombers, and drones, that are used for a variety of missions such as surveillance, air defense, and strike. Thirdly, with time, it is becoming increasingly cognizant of new emerging threats. The Navy has also adapted to the changing nature of threats. During the Cold War, the Navy focused on countering the Soviet Navy. But today the Navy's focus is on a wider range of threats, including terrorism, piracy, and cyber attacks. More importantly, while initially it used to focus solely on itself, now it has started working in collaboration with navies from other countries. In reality, this increased emphasis on joint operations with other branches of the military and coalition partners has done it some good. Finally, the Navy has also changed in terms of organization and strategy. The Navy has adopted new concepts such as network-centric warfare and distributed lethality, which focus on leveraging technology to increase the Navy's situational awareness and the ability to conduct offensive operations at scale. Now, in the end, we come to weapons. The United States Navy employs a wide range of weapon systems on its ships, submarines, and aircraft. The Navy uses a wide variety of weapons, such as guns, including 5-inch, 6-inch, and 8-inch guns, for ship-to-ship combat and shore bombardment. Missiles, including the Standard Missile, SM family for air defense, whereas the Tomahawk cruise missile for land attack. Torpedoes. These are used by the Navy as an anti-submarine warfare weapon, the most famous one out of all of them being Mark 48. Mines. The Navy employs a variety of mines, including bottom and moored mines, to deny an area to enemy ships and submarines. Aircrafts, ranging from fighters to bombers to drones. These aircrafts are used for a variety of missions such as surveillance, air defense, and strike. Nuclear-powered submarines carry ballistic missiles, which is the most powerful weapon in Navy's inventory. They are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Now that you have a fair idea of what all different kinds of weapons are used by the US Navy, let's get into particulars. The first gun that comes to our mind whenever we talk about the US Navy is the 76.2 ohms TO Malora 76 naval gun, originally from Italy. The US Navy first started using it around 5 decades back in the year 1975. Despite being a thing of the past, so to say, the gun is prominently used by the US Navy on numerous ships, ranging from frigates to patrol boats to corvettes. To provide an image of how the gun functions, it is not your usual gun, and if you're picturing it to be like that, you are most certainly wrong. It is actually attached to the naval vessel or ship and fires bullets from there itself. The interesting thing about this is that to protect it from enemy security, it can be concealed inside a dome and fire from there itself. Next up we have Mark 38, which is based upon the M242 Bushmaster, a 25mm automatic gun. The US Navy uses it mainly in its defense against light and coastal surface targets. However, the gun has not remained the same over the years. It has been upgraded to provide an increased fire rate, thereby becoming even more efficient than it was before. That's enough about weapons for attacks. As important as it might be to attack your opponents to protect yourself, it is equally important to protect oneself against foreseeable or unforeseeable attacks. The most impressive defense weapon possessed by the US Navy is the railgun. This is used to fire projectiles. Its firing capacity is so impressive that the only weapon that can be compared with it is missiles. However, railguns are far more cost-effective than missiles, as while rockets cost millions of dollars on an average, the cost of the railgun shell is merely $20,000 to $25,000. While rain gun might be impressive, one weapon that blows everyone's minds is the laser weapon system. It looks exactly like what you're imagining it to be. It feels as if they are straight out of a movie. The US Navy uses lasers to completely annihilate drones, small maritime weapons and fighters. Now coming to the famous torpedo Mark 45. This torpedo is well known for its versatile operations, as it can easily hit targets even if they are located a long range of distance from the naval ship. Its range is so vast that it can easily destroy submarines and other objects on the water surface. While all of the above-mentioned objects play a critical role in the US Navy, none of these come even close to the Navy's biggest weapon, which is its aircraft carrier. The largest aircraft carrier currently in service in the United States Navy is the U.S. Gerald R. Ford. It is the newest and most advanced class of aircraft carrier of the Navy. The Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers are 100,000-ton nuclear-powered warships and are able to accommodate more aircraft and weaponry than previous carrier classes. It is equipped with advanced technologies and systems, including an electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALLS, and an advanced arresting gear, AAG, for launching and recovering aircraft. The Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carriers have an overall length of 1,092 feet, width of 134 feet, and draft of 38 feet. Now we know why the US Navy is the strongest in the world. Share this video with your friends so that they also get to know about the greatness of the US Navy.